Okay, so this is the home page. We are going to cover part by part of it, and we are going to start from the very bottom, the footer, then the body, this middle part between the header and the footer, and then this header with the navigation, and this guy, the drop down, which is also the mobile navigation for the whole website. And each part we cover are going to be divided into three parts. First, the front end, what you are looking at right now, and second would be the WordPress backend, the setup, and the code behind. So let's get started. All right, let's handle the footer. And as we promised before, we are going to look into the WordPress backend setup where the widgets and everything are. And then we will look into the code behind to see how everything was coded. So let's go find out what's up. All right, so this is the footer. As we can see, it has 4 columns and a little bit of footnote here and some custom coding going on here. And most importantly, there is a debugging code still kept because this actually helps us to locate where we are. This kept for debugging purposes, and this will be interesting to find out when we look into the code behind how this was done. So for now, let's go check out the WordPress backend. So this is the WordPress backend, as you can see here. Appearance, widgets, and all 4 of the widgets that are shown right here are laid out. And the number 1 and number 3, I actually used the same widget plugin, which is WordPress Popular Post. It can be found right here in the WordPress repository. It's a pretty awesome plugin with lots and lots of features. It handles custom post types, custom taxonomies, and even has its own little styles. And as you can see here, I have used it for the universities, and I customized it a little bit. In this one I used images and the other one I didn't. As you can see here, this one is the university, this one is the regular post, so without the images. So that's a variety there, and please feel free to use them. And then number 2 here, it's a navigation menu, one of the default WordPress widgets right here. Here though, one of the custom navigations I have used here, which was created just for this widget back here. Out of a whole bunch of them, this is the one, and this is all the URLs that are showing up right here. And now, last but not least, is the number 4. This is a custom HTML one. As you can see, this is just nothing but HTML and fully custom styling going on. But whenever I use this widget and custom coding, I only copy and paste it, but I actually get the coding done on a separate editor. Like here you can see, I just throw in a simple HTML file inside my theme somewhere, so that whenever I'm doing these custom widgets, I can lay out all my HTML and the styling. As you can see, it's right here. This ID was used, and this is the ID, and this is the styling that makes that widget looks like this. And so now that we already took a look at some code, so this would be a great segue to get into further detail of the code behind and take a look at how the whole thing was built. So we are here at the code behind for the footer code. So basically it is the themes folder, and then this is the theme in question, and this is the footer code. And as far as the styling goes, it is organized here under assets, source, SCSS, footers, and this is the general code for the for footer overall, and this is the project specific code right here. That being said, let's dig into the footer code. To begin with, let's focus on this very section here. And as you can see right here, the container row and all these means I'm using Bootstrap 4, and all the row and column starts here. So I kept this section above all that way it shows up here. The recruiting starts here, and that logo, they're centered, and they're right above this row and column structure right here. Now let's go dig into the row and column structure, and these are the 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are the 4 columns that are holding this widget structure. And to find this widget code, this custom widgets, which are basically right here, the 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have to go to the functions file. And as you can see, the function file is nothing but calling all the functions from this specific functions folder right here. And to get to the actual widget setup, we have to find this widget setup.php, and this is where that footer 1, 2, 3, and 4 are coming from. That being said, let's move on. Now this is a tiny section, right? It's the footnote right here. But to explain this, we have to go back to WordPress Backend again. Okay, so we are back at the WordPress Backend. To get to what we were talking about, we have to find the theme settings. Alright, so this theme settings page was created by the ACF plugin. This ACF Pro here, and the item we were talking about, the tiny footnote, this guy is sitting right here. And to build this up, we had to go back here, custom fields, theme settings, and this is where it is. Theme footer text, this guy. And the way it was set up is as an options page. This options page made this guy show up and created these global variables, which are eventually called right here with this piece of code here, and eventually styled. That's where the footnote comes from. Now, most important part of all, especially for debugging and development, is this part. In the footer, this is where it tells us which template we are on. Right? Let's say if we go to this learn page, go all the way down, and it changes. It's telling me it comes from home.php. And then when we do go back up, and it tells us we're back at page-thrive.php template. Okay, now let's find out how this part is functioning. To make this part functional, we actually have to dig deeper and come to this file right here, which is under functions and then helpers-setup.php. Right here, it is the combination of these two different functions. One is a filter. This is where it is actually collecting the current theme name, and with this function, given this argument true or false, wherever this is used, like here, and true argument here, it actually outputs the current theme file name that it collected from this function right here. So it may look tiny right here, but for this to function, they both have to work together and be in place, so that as a result we get our man right here. And this way we can keep track of where we are at any given time during development time, and it helps us debug. So that's pretty much all we have as far as the footer goes. Now let's go find out more about the other parts.